Hello and welcome back to Outertale, and since I didn't go through Snowden, expect this one to be slightly longer so I can go more into detail on the next section, which I already forgot the name for, and it's not even 20 seconds in. Anyhow, I did already go through the date with Papyrus. For the most part, it is the same except for some aesthetic changes that I may try to show again, depending on how the true pacifist will work, because obviously if I'm sent back to the beginning, I'll have to recomplete it, even if it's only just to slightly increase the speed. But anyhow, time for the foundry. Okay. Also, I went out with sand. Anyhow, yeah, the Echo Flowers are now Echo Stars, and I have a full box, so I cannot actually save any healing items. Yeah. Also, it takes like 5 minutes to get through each battle, so I may speed up the battles since I get through quite a few of them in order to save up some money to go to the sanctuary that's in Absolute Shop for 465 gold. Also, it takes me a little bit to memorize the patterns for these attacks, so don't expect a lot of good dodging. I mean, obviously, you can't memorize all of them since they don't all have the same pattern. But yeah, because I forget his name. Scrubbington, I think it was. He plus the Gelita are kind of annoying to deal with. Also, I don't know why sitting on this makes Gelita so happy. I know the text says because it's being of use, but how is it being any more or less useful? I then save, like, after every battle, so that part will be cut. So this part will not make sense. But anyhow, after some ridiculous grinding, I actually move on. And it's time to battle this dog. I know, unique concepts. It's not like I didn't just fight like 3 or 4 of them. But anyhow, all I end up doing is flirting this entire battle because it ends the battle in 3 turns. It's fairly simple, not hyper complicated. It took 1 attempt for me to learn the attacks and dodge them decently well. Like, so long as you can properly react in time to which side the spears are coming from, you should be able to make it. The only one I dislike is the spear one, because for some reason my brain just cannot figure out where those spears are stopping. Luckily, you get free money, just as with every spare. It also adds to the flirt counter, which in this run I did not properly flirt with all the monsters. So obviously it's not going to be perfection. But I'll have flirted with a decent amount. It took me a second to figure out I had the pillar in the wrong position. I know, I was 1 position off. How weird. This one was actually easier for me, because the way my brain works, it just draws the line. So I immediately figured out I needed to push the middle pillar all the way to the bottom and then 1 to the left. The rightmost pillar to the position it's in, and then the other two, the middle pillar will actually be pushed all the way to its last available position. Oh no. Yes. I couldn't even remember what I did. This part is kind of slow, but overall it's just some background. Honestly, I'm not too worried about getting absorbed into this story because you all know what will happen in like 1 or 2 routes, depending on how the true pacifist works out. Best case, they survive an extra timeline. Worst case, they will be dying rather quickly, so don't get too attached to them. But yeah, at this point I actually get kinda good. I don't lose a lot of health to random battles. Obviously, I still take damage every now and again, meaning I won't be full health when I enter the first Undyne section, which is actually kinda cool. Also, the way they change Monster Kid around in this is actually really nice. Because, rather than the way he acts in regular Undertale, where he's this fanatic of Undyne with no clue that you're a human, he actually realizes you're a human within the first interaction between you and Undyne, and, well, I'll let you see the rest of the cutscene. As I deal with long, tedious journey of killing things. Sparing things. Also, the mirror guy, I don't remember his name. He actually requires you to check his stats before you can, spare him. I didn't actually know that, so I think I died to the first one. Outertale. So I insulted him, I think. Because I got tired of waiting. Oh yeah, I just straight up died because I cannot figure out these laser beams. Okay. Obviously, this does not match up with footage, but as I am describing this scene to you, I am actually grinding on my end. So even though it looks like I'm talking about absolute nonsense, this is like some behind-the-scenes nonsense that I'm commenting over. I guess I should really catch back up to where you guys are at now. And now we're in the sanctuary. Overall, it's a rather empty space. I was hoping to have some sort of a secret item or something for all this, but overall, it's a fairly simple room that looks rather nice. Looks comfortable. But other than that, it's kind of just a room. So back to the foundry I go. And now being back in the foundry, it's time to see Undyne for the first time. During this exploration, I actually miss where the Tem village of Outertale is, so I will probably have to search for that by backtracking quite a bit. I know there's something with the piano that's gonna be coming up in a few, like, 10 rooms that I could probably do something with, but I'm gonna have to Google. I'm not about to spend 5 hours figuring it out on my own, especially if it's available. See? He figures it out all on his own. Run! You know, I can kind of understand why Frisk wouldn't immediately step off to prevent Undyne from using it in order to catch up, but then kind of just teleports. How unfair. I can't believe you just teleport, but yeah, this chase sequence is both harder and easier than regular Undertale because these floor spears give you much less time, but you're much safer against spears once you get hit by them. Like, I don't even hardly lose any HP during any of the 5 separate times I trigger one of the spear attacks. Also, after like the second one, I figure that it's usually going to be a dead end whenever I reach a dead end, or whenever I reach a dead end, it'll trigger spears. And then I try to play it smart, and end up doing the exact same thing. And since I've already triggered it, I figured I may as well just check out. So yeah. Basically just clipping as many corners as I can to not have as many spears hit me. But Undyne actually does really well in the second chase. I mean, obviously in this first chase, it is still Monster Kid who gets grabbed, but it's slightly different how the conversation between Monster Kid and Frisk goes. Well, I guess I say conversation between, and more so along the lines of Monster Kid is talking at Frisk. Or, I guess, me indirectly talking to me. But yeah, this Monster Kid is a lot smarter. Which, I guess that makes sense. It seems that Monster Kid is kinda a robot, partially. Oh yeah, and the Monster Kid has their own actions that they can perform in battles. I don't really use him, but he's there. The space boots are the ballet shoe replacement. They did put some things more out in the open, I guess. So after some more battles, where I'm actually good enough to collect the healing droplets from Washington. Was it? I already forgot its name. Yeah, I'll probably run into it. I'll correct it. Not as in I'll correct that mistake. I mean, when I see it, I'll read it as I read it. And hope I remember from there. Anyhow, I guess... next room. I wonder if there's anything in that room. Also, Sans actually has a good reason for the telescope. It's a free trial. I honestly expected a white dot to appear on the face of the player, but nope. I scanned across and everything, just in case there was like a secret or something. There, in fact, was not. A premium subscription. In order to get a premium membership, you need a premium subscription, and I assume in order to get a premium subscription, you need a premium membership. Seems like the same thing, don't it? I am not, in fact, made out of grass, and I feel like I've been asked that question before. Also, I went up here initially thinking that it was supposed to be the one of the extra rooms, not actually the path forward, but it turns out it was the path forward. And also, I got the punch card equivalent after eating my Radiant Swirl. Postcards, that's what it was. Thank you very much, good sir. It takes a few dialogue boxes. Don't worry. It'll all be over soon. I'll get to Undyne. And then the poor... What was it? It was a thing that canceled out one thing or another. It wasn't water. It was oddly specific. Okay. Well, no, we'll all see it. So I eat the ice cream, having a lovely family, it seems. There's a postcard. I open up the postcard. I learned that you can walk with the postcard open, probably meaning it's capable of being used for the normal skips it's used for in Undertale speedruns. I wonder if there's something specific you can do with it. Darn it, now I'm thinking of all these things that I need to try out off camera. Okay, so I did actually check for a hidden path on that one. I never properly checked out that grass room. Man, I'm just gonna have to spend like an extra hour off camera checking these spots because I need to know the Tem village. I need to see it. Whether or not I get the Tem armor, I'll try. I might see about buying it, but I plan on not using it if I can find the Tem village. Of course, if I don't find it, then it makes no difference. Why am I not? Oh, I skipped a flower. No. I autopiloted. Oh yes, this is technically the actual background before the monsters were sealed in this force field that can only be broken by 7 human souls for an equivalent force. I wonder what they chose to use as the 7 human souls equivalent force. Could it be 7 human souls? No way. Arrowguts. Arrowguts? Is that how you read it? I don't know. Arrow goat? Got? Am I even pronouncing the first part right? Oh well, I'll just call him Asgore, okay? That'll do. So yeah, Asgore. King Asgore. He, apparently is into westerns. I'd make a comment on them, but I have never seen one. These monsters were actually correct to be suspicious. At least in this specific timeline where they get locked behind a force field for no apparent reason. And in normal Undertale, because they get sealed by magicians after a war breaks out between them. Yeah, I can see why monsters wouldn't exactly have reason to trust humans. I mean, 6 have gone through here at the very least. There's no saying how many actually went through here and just didn't have a powerful enough soul. I mean, it's perfectly reasonable to assume at least one human fell that didn't have to worry about, or one human soul that didn't last long enough to be put inside one of the soul containers. All it states is that the human soul can persist outside the body for longer than a monster soul can. So yeah, this is the same thing. I just flirt and it works. I hate that it works, but it works. And I guarantee it probably throws off the entire true pacifist route in some shape or form. But I'll worry about that later. That's a problem for future me. If it does, then I guess I'll just replay the whole game without flirting. At first I was worried it didn't work, so I tried the other act options. So, Monster Kid also tries to communicate, and gets ignored. Good job. Luckily, after I got the hang of moving about, I didn't take too many hits, but the first attack didn't do very good. Part of me wants to say Monster Kid has played regular Undertale. Purely because of the amount of discussion on bakery. While this method seems much more focused on actually doing the job. Gotta love this, do I call it like an outer mix or something? What kind of remix would this be called? Either way, this version of Spider Dance is really nice. All the music in between this, Undertale Yellow, even regular Undertale is excellent. The other fan games are also decent, but I'm more focused on the full fan games, not just the individual boss battle type fan games. Because obviously their music is much higher paced and follows a similar line, where beginning of the battle it's usually less so, middle of the battle, phase 2 will usually get much more intense, and then in the last one it'll kind of peter out and not be so intense. So it's kinda hard to make any one stick out above the rest. I mean, of course, I used the music in, like, Papyrus Has Gone Too Far in order to work out some of the timing on attacks. So yeah, I basically just decide from this point forward to continue floating, even if it doesn't work. Hooray! I think that's Monster Kid saying what? Because, yeah, I'd also be saying what to that. I mean, literally, just what? Is there any proper reaction to that? I mean, I don't know. I think what fits it perfectly. Also, I don't make any food because even if I have the 2 slots, I need slots open because I'm inevitably gonna run into things. Also, I kinda just flirt at Shiren. Obviously, I should have decided to hum along in order to get Shiren to not be so shy, but I just flirted. I probably ruined it there, but hey. I actually just opened the menu not knowing what I was doing. Also, I spent like too long on this, so I'm just gonna skip straight to when I figure it out. And I'm back with the actual solution, so I spent like 10 minutes on this. And for 8 of those minutes, it was because I was pressing the up key in the place of the 2 down keys. Also, the annoying dog doesn't immediately eat your artifact. Also, it was worn by Asgore. I find it strange that Asgore is the only monster that really has a huge name change. Also, there's the pattern. I don't know the point of the double notes. That check was actually because I wasn't sure if extra notes would appear. You can't tell me the secret, I just revealed it. Or did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, so this is just a dialogue fest. But as soon as I get through here, it'll be another jump to the dump. Because Undyne is actually successful here. I love the artwork here, though. Thank you. I shall see you later. Yeah, for some reason, rather than just spear me to death, again, just take the boot. I really don't understand what Undyne thinks sometimes. But then again, no, I still don't understand. Even if Undyne knew where the human was going to land, how does she know that, the human would die? I mean, the only reason you'd even suspect that is because of the garbage disposal box. But unless she knows exactly when it's going to go off, why take the risk? Why not just slice my head off there? Or at least take the soul. Not like I could do much. I don't have a bridge to run across. Yes, I do actually die to the Mad Dummy fight. I hate to tell you this, but I died to the Mad Dummy fight, and there's no way around it. But I do talk to the robot. I don't know how much of the robot conversation is actually important. None of it, I presume. But just in case I max it out. Also, I apparently made the mad dummy mad by talking. And then not talking. Shocker. Because I talked to the first dummy, and then I refused to punch the dummy. So I walked past, not wishing harm upon anything. And okay, you'll just have to see. Hello, friend. Time to become besties, despite only talking to you for like a minute. Yeah, I never did tell this robot my name, and there's no way to. And then it repeats dialogue. Showed appreciation. I don't know if there's limited time for that dialogue and then it changes, but I didn't bother. Also, I didn't take the healing items. May not have been my smartest choice, but I forgot. Or left it alone. Either way, I'll jump to my death, then the successful attempt. Right after the conversation, of course. I know you're incorporeal. Okay, I'm dead. Okay, back for the successful attempt. Because I had to refill the robot gauge. I do believe this is a successful attempt, and if it isn't, well, you'll never know the difference. Because I'll just switch it out. But yeah, the Mad Dummy isn't actually any harder, except for like a couple of specialized robots and changes to attacks. Like, for example, one of the walls of dummies is it can be blue or orange, and depending on which, you gotta react accordingly. They actually introduce orange before they introduce blue, though, so they do expect you to have knowledge of Undertale. But they introduce it as if they introduce blue attacks, except using bony hot coals. Don't ask me. If you don't know, you'll probably see it, or you won't. And then... oh, I forgot about that attempt. That time I saved before I entered the battle, though, so I don't have to re-enter the robot cutscene. But slightly different dialogue. Hooray! And it was only like 2 minutes, so I'm not worrying about it. Well, what do you expect me to do? You get angry if I punch you, you get angry if I don't punch you. What am I expected to do here? Not exist, I assume. I must have gotten distracted. Anyhow, while I'm busy being tired of waiting through this dialogue, I'm gonna inform you on progress for Finished Nightmare, because it is not going well. It takes way too long to put Sally attempts in, and I haven't even beaten the first section of it. And I actually know what I'm doing now because I watched a YouTube video. So, because of the RNG of when the cream heads will spawn and when Sally's will run, it is nearly impossible for me to get a solid run, as well as collect all the items needed in order to get out from the first sequence. So, what I'm figuring is I'll probably come back to that on a later date when I've gotten more used to some of the more difficult Sonic EXEs. So, probably gonna continue Whisper of Soul. I may actually go for a couple of other endings in Spirits of Hell Round 1. I'm not confirming anything on that. That game, once you learn how to play it, it's relatively simple, I'll say, but I'd still much rather just do Whisper of Soul and then see what else I have from there. Because obviously I can't expect Sonic EXE games to be too easy because you're intended to die multiple times in order to achieve the worst ending. If you could just achieve the best ending from the very start, it wouldn't really make sense. Especially in the context of, say, like, Finished Nightmare. The intention is for you to die multiple times, because if you've ever seen my previous videos where I have game overed, you get different dialogues for losing to them. Now, I guarantee I've lost more times than you're intended to, but the mannerism of it is still the same. They're prepared for you to die hundreds upon hundreds of times. Now, unfortunately, that does mean that I'm basically screwed if I want to get the true ending for Finished Nightmare. And just to get the Amy Cream duo would take me easily 3 or 4 hours of recording in order to achieve it. And reference for you guys, my longest video is me showing every attempt at my true ending video for Sonic EXE Spirits of Hell Round 1. And that video was 6 hours and 50 minutes long, if I've got this correct. It's not simply time that I did in one go. That's a combination of the days I spent recording it. But it still covers the point, I think. It wouldn't be easy to fulfill that. So, I'll see about recording the Amy Cream duo in due time, but for now, I hope you guys don't mind if I continue Whisper of Soul, because A, I'm properly covering the endings now, and B, I kind of want to speedrun the all endings, which will take 3-4-ish hours, depending on how long Tails takes me, because I suck at the clicking minigame, hence why when I post that speedrun attempt, I am gonna cut out the 40 minutes it takes of me just running attempts. And obviously, I was never going to be able to submit that because I wasn't going to finish it that night. So ultimately, I ended up even using an auto-clicker, so I can't use that run. But I've actually improved massively on Amy and Cream, and I straight up just skipped Sally's first survival, since I don't really need it. Anyway, I guess I should go back to commenting on this. Let me make sure it's not about to do a strange thing. Okay, so now we're at Nabstabluke's house, just about. And yes, it was lagging behind on the audio, so if that last bit feels even more crunched than usual, that would be why, because I was actually already past Nabstabluke's music comment before I started talking about this. But anyhow, the music is about the same, but a bit more. Actually, I want to say the only one that's different is the Spook Waltz, I think it was, which I do after laying down for a little while. Also, sorry I couldn't give the ghost a hug, but I tried. I did in fact try. Don't say I didn't, please. I did it. I failed, but I did it. Also, I did the exact same thing as in Undertale and spent way too much time on the snails. 3 times. I erased the snail out of existence, okay? I feel bad, but unfortunate. Gotta sacrifice. Okay, so time to be calm and witness the beauty of the scene. You gotta love the beauty of the digital looking background. The mountain in the back, pillars of light. I think that's it. Those are hills with grass on them and a giant tree with wonderful green leaves. If it weren't wavy, I'd... I don't know what I'd do. I think if it weren't wavy, I'd actually be less illusioned by it. But I probably spend too much time just sitting here enjoying it, because I too enjoy the serenity of certain situations. It's also a good break. Because, you know, dodging attacks can be hard work. Oh no, I did it again. I don't actually know how much longer I end up sitting here for. I don't think it's much longer, but I kinda got absorbed into the moment again. But yeah, after this is snail racing and then I get back on track. I'll go ahead and skip to the snail races. Well, I guess I can't really... I'll skip to the next musics, I guess. It was another 30 seconds. So now, time for the next bit of music. Also, you have to stop the playback in order to activate the next one. So that's slightly more inconvenient. But the music's nice. I found it to be the same as in Undertale, so I didn't stick to it long. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't stick to outside the house like it does in Undertale. I think it sticks outside the house for a little bit, but I don't remember. Anyhow, I talked to the snails and then snail race. I'm fairly certain you guys are only curious about me smushing the snail. So, here you go! Rip my Z key, though. It is going to get loud. And because I end up being so slow, I kind of just give up and... Snail must die. This would be horrid if it were monster encounters instead. Oh, darn it. Sorry about that, Luke. I kinda murderized your virtual snail. And probably one of my keys. But I kinda just jumped to Undyne's house and said I don't do anything else of interest there. And then it's time to move on. After investigating the shop, getting lost, to going back a room, and then actually moving forward. I do end up buying the data pad here since I like invincibility frames. I ask about yourself. I don't think this is actually important. So after auto-correcting myself, I have managed to move to the next location, and after trying to walk against a wall for nothing, I found nothing. Don't know what I expected. I mean, obviously I expected a temp village, but still no clue what that is. Partially because I'm still recording as of this moment and haven't actually gone out of my way to try it. Oh, Scrubbington! There it is! There's the name! I got it! I did it! Also, this puzzle would have been impossible. Because you can never actually shift the pillars in such a fashion where, can bounce the lasers. I mean, obviously you could probably hit all the pillars, but you could never actually get them inside of the points they're meant to reach. If this puzzle were extended one farther down, it'd probably be possible, though. I think. Don't quote me on that way, because it might just not be possible. And it could be there for decoration. But yeah, here's the actual second chase, I guess. This one is both easy and hard. It gets faster the longer you're running, so you have less time to react, so if you don't immediately react to them, you aren't going to make it. But you have rather generous wiggle room, I'd say. Even though I get hit, it's because I overcorrect myself. But I don't actually have enough reaction time to dodge all these spears, so I kinda just get lucky. Yeah, I don't know how you flew it in the first place. You should really be more careful. In any case, I guess it's time to move on. I'll see you later, Monster Kid. And more dialogue. How fun. I know it's like the best content ever reading. but I know some people are actually curious about the story and background. And yeah, this is a bit of a longer video, but I think it'll be fine. Also, because I haven't found the Tim Village, I haven't been able to sell any of my armors, so my chest has all the armors I've found, and all the weapons I have found, but I have no source of getting rid of them. Because I don't want to drop them, because that's money. If I can sell them at Tim Village. Which I don't know, since I haven't found it. So I died to Undyne because I chose to challenge in the first section, which immediately skips over an attack, but it also speeds up all attacks by like 10 to 20%, I want to say. I'm no coward, I saved that child's life. I sure hope either there's a unique ending for flirting with all the monsters, or at least that it allows me to continue with the true pacifist. Because obviously, if I flirt with certain boss monsters, I can't go back and do mercy on them. But yeah, I don't go back and do the Undyne house party in this video because, honestly, I kinda expected there to be more area. So I kinda just forgot about it. But instead I got meta time. Which, surprise, surprise, doesn't look much different. So it's very difficult to make a box look different. And I won't know about, Neo or that until I do that. Also, I eat the chocolate. I know, I've taken the chocolate all the way up to Undyne, and I have to eat it before I die. But yeah, I do inevitably die. And it doesn't even take long. Longer than the last death, but I don't make it past the second section. I don't know what's with the waits between battles, but I can kinda understand. Also, the arrows have already surpassed what I can react to. So that's why I die to the challenge, because it is literally faster than I can do things. So I immediately run in and do it again. But because I didn't save after the conversation, I kinda have to span through it. Throws off helmet. Oh no, it's doing the thing again. Okay, and now I'm back where I was. So, I'm actually gonna skip this since I just die here anyhow. And I have now gone to the successful attempt where I did not challenge and go into my own demise. It is still a rather long boss fight though. Purely because the arrows are slow. They're too slow without the challenge, but they're too fast with it. There's a bit of a problem, you see. So instead, I just went with the normal arrows, and well, as you can see, I'm not doing great, but I'm not doing terribly either. And since I actually understand the mechanics of the arrows, I can flee immediately. And Undyne only has 3 times where you're forced into combat before you can actually just flee right away. I don't know if you have a flirt option at any point during this, but I'll assume you don't. And, be fine with that? Anyhow, how's everyone's day going? Mine is long. I've recorded this, but it took a while. And I've only just cut it down to 1 hour and 7 minutes. So I don't even expect anyone to be here right now. And I don't really know how to, know whether or not you did it right unless you timestamp the comment. But I do in fact run. This time. No green? No green. Okay, this is the third and last time you're forced into, defending yourself. It lasts for the same 3 turns. Which is rather complicated because I actually have to go and avoid the green arrows. I know, surprising. Green is actually bad in this case. But yeah, if you are in the direction the green arrow is coming from, you'll take damage. Oh no, why do they fade to black? Probably to indicate that they're bad. But yeah, they can hit the back of your shield and you'll be fine. This is rather easy, so long as you're capable of spotting all of them before they hit your guard. Undyne gets exhausted, by reasons that'll soon become apparent. You know, I thought the meta-defense section took me longer, but every minute I spend on this Undyne fight, I feel like I should speed it up. But I won't, because you need the full experience, and otherwise the text goes too fast. As it is, it's not like I left a lot of space for you guys to read. I don't care that you attack, I'm fleeing. But yeah, it's only the one bridge and then you're good. Yeah, it's some interference thing. Human, I was thinking. I am kind of glad that Pyrus interrupts after you've finished running from Undyne, rather than while you're running from Undyne. But it's also no. I knew after Undyne chases you, you'd be in the next section. Either way, it doesn't matter, I'll go back and find the 10. I shall see you in the near future. And on to what is going to be Hotland? Aerialis, I think. Aerialis? Aerialis. I'm gonna call it Aerialis. Welcome to the Royal Lab. No XP, 20 HP, 179 gold. Fluctuating distance based on how many steps I've taken. It's a recycle bin. I turned on the computer. Don't tell Alphys. Part of me wanted to see if I could screw up the highest score. I know, not great, but I could not. Obviously, I did not take the open bottle, because that would just be rude. Also, I'd much rather just have a closed one, that way I don't have to use an open one. Who knows what's been in that bottle? I mean, there's obviously at least one thing, but considering I don't know what exactly the description of open means in this context, it could also easily have things like insects, dirt, grime, somehow get inside the bottle. I don't know how long it's been there. Don't know how well refrigerated it is. I don't know how closed or how open is. So, I guess I don't need to justify myself. I already completed justice. Anyhow, this one is actually really interesting how it works. Because your gameplay changes a lot. You need to hit the yellow objects with your soul. But rather than having free range of your soul becomes blue or cyan. Which actually kind of makes sense. This would be a legitimate patience goal. So, aside from that, I feel that the battle went rather well. I mean, in total I got like 11 misses, so that's not great, but considering I was dashing across the entire level entire box several times, I think I did pretty well. Especially it being at first try. I didn't actually die, but I did end up having to heal. Give me the zap! Also, I try mashing Z, thinking that if I just mash fast enough, I'll essentially have the same soul as I did before, but it's actually much faster to just press it once. Also, while you're moving, you don't seemingly have a hitbox. Probably to prevent people from dashing in between the middle section too often. But yeah, after learning that, I just missed again. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Chiron. I don't think there's anything action-wise that I could do here. But I don't really get hit all too much. I mean, while I do have to heal, I only take 2 damage. Now here, I actually do take quite a bit of damage because of how much I have to dash about. But I only have 2 misses at this point. But it goes into dancing, which is much, much harder. Turns out avoiding rockets and falling dummies is not very easy with a stationary soul. Obviously, I tried to get away with not using up any extra things. Hold on, I'm taking a second look at it, trying to see if I can recognize the shape, and nope. It's just a random blob that's meant to resemble a dance. Hello again, Mad Dummy. I just thought of it. Could I have managed to get the dummies to attack the Mad Dummy instead? Like, obviously I just end up missing too many times from trying to avoid dying. So I end up getting told I did terribly. But I missed a couple of times that I don't think I should have missed. Obviously, I prioritize survival on 1 HP. I'm talking to a human who does not do well under pressure. I have to eat the Exaberry pie. Yeah, the lightning bolts actually move just fast enough to where if you don't catch them immediately, you can't pull it out of them. And you especially can't if you miss a single one of your targeting. But Metaton's still the same good old robot. Entirely obsessed with the ratings. And at this point in the video, I may as well start saying goodbye. So if you've enjoyed thus far and you enjoy most of the content on my channel, it might be worth considering subscribing and or liking this video. It helps the video get out to other people who could enjoy it. If you don't, and worst case scenario, you can always undo what you do now. And have a good day. I will not be talking any further, because there's not much to talk about.